Hello YouTube, Liverpool fan in Japan here, the Miyazaki man Sai. Yes, what great news we just got. Michael Edwards is coming back to Liverpool in some capacity, CEO of football, world football, all of football baby. And whilst most of the news is good, there's definitely some unknowns here because he's not going back into the role which he predominantly made a name for himself, an outstanding success in Liverpool's prior seasons, especially with signings. But the most important thing, the most impressive thing about Michael Edwards is the fact that we do not sell any asset, any player for cheap. We get maximum value. He drives a hard bargain. And think of your collections, your collectibles like mine here. You don't want to sell them for retail price. You want to sell them above and beyond, baby, and make yourself rich. Give yourself that transfer kitty to go all out, splash the cash, and get that total squad for the future. Our future is in good hands. He is now the kingmaker. He has the keys to the Klopp kingdom, and basically he will shape how Liverpool evolves over the coming seasons. It's Richard Hughes who actually steps into Michael Edwards' old role, and we'll be talking about that in a separate video. And I slightly disagree with Simon Jordan as well about how you never come back from a role that you left, because in my eyes, it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. And FSG agreed. Let's get into it. But just before you do, I want to show you this. Liverpool fans know exactly what we're going to get with Michael Edwards because he's been here previously. He's a Liverpool guy through and through. But obviously at Sky Sports, they're not Liverpool guys through and through, because look at this. This was their video on Michael Edwards' reach agreement with FSG over a return to Liverpool. The thumbnail, that's not even Michael Edwards. They got the wrong guy. But let's start off by saying there's the cheek of Man United and Chelsea going after Michael Edwards and him turning them down. What a great start. The return of the king, the prince that was promised, Michael Edwards back at Liverpool. He's got that affinity to Liverpool. He helped build our sustained success, and there's no talk really of a falling out between Edwards and Klopp. People's roles and remits evolve over time, and Klopp rightfully gained the right to have more authority, more decision-making powers, which might have nullified Edwards' role previously, and he left. Obviously, Julian Ward left as well, and Klopp has been proved right because this season we are challenging for a quadruple. And you'd have to say that Klopp earned the right to have that decision-making power, you know, being the standout figure in the Liverpool campaign. He leads from the front, and obviously him with his technical staff and decision-making abilities gives himself the tools for the job. But previously, Michael Edwards, Julian Ward, and the whole data analyst infrastructure team gave Klopp the tools he needs to succeed. Let's talk about the training ground. Let's talk about the data scientists, the data side of things, the data-led approach. Let's talk about the transfers in terms of boosting the transfer kitty in terms of sales, selling is one of Michael Edwards' best assets, but also buying the right type of player and overruling Klopp. The transfer committee, for example, no Draxler, no Brandt, yes to Salah. So I want to bring your attention to some of the deals that have gone under the radar. 5 million for Rafa Camacho, convincing Fiorentina to buy Bobby Duncan after he had a hissy fit. Takumi Minamino trailblazing the way to our cup victories. Also, paving the way for Japanese superstar Wataru Endo, Emperor Endo, the big E, to step foot into Anfield. Now we have that Japanese fan base, that Japanese rapport, the existence of his channel. Maybe that's the biggest one of all, the existence of his channel. And he paved the way by signing Takumi Minamino, which made us Liverpool fans in Japan go, Taki-san, off you go, son, win us the cup. A little bit underutilized, but you can understand it's hard to break into that front line, right? Firmino, Mane and Salah. But he paved the way for Wataru Endo, who is now dominating the Premier League. Big boss, final boss music, Endo arrives. I'm going to sing that song as well in a short, the new Endo video song. Check it out when it comes out. 12.5 million for Danny Ward to Leicester. Danny Ings, 2 significant knee injuries and getting 20 million for Danny Ings. Daniel Levy pulling out the very last follicles because he got gazumped for Lucho Diaz. Hooping 13.5 million from the deal that took Diogo Jota from Wolves to Liverpool for Kiana Hova. 4.3 million for Harvey Elliott. 4.3 million. 23.5 million for Ryan Brewster. Lifting club morale with that Fabinho signing, over 40 million as soon as we lost the Champions League final. Granting Klopp's wishes not to see Mamadou Sakho again. 26 million, Crystal Palace. Obviously Mamadou Sakho, that Alcatraz meeting with the camera, absolutely pissed off Klopp. Out the door he went. Gaining 15 million quid from Dom Solanke, who I think scored 1 goal. Obviously he turned out to be a good player, right? Well-rounded player, but I don't think he really suited the Liverpool style of play. 1 goal that season and 15 million profit from Dom Solanke. Also signed the best goalkeeper and the best central defender for the past few seasons. Absolutely cemented Liverpool as a total force to be reckoned with. Coutinho signed for 8 or 9 million and turned over for over 100 million to Barcelona. Barcelona must be sweating now. Their interest in Lucho Diaz got a million times harder because not only are they skint, they're dealing with the king, baby, Michael Edwards. And this is daylight robbery. Literally, Kevin Stewart of the defensive midfield youngster class being swapped for Andrew Robertson. Andy Robertson, the Scottish Braveheart, for more or less the same deal because I think he had a deal rising up to 8 million, like 5 million, 4 million, up to 8 million or something like that. But not only was that Coutinho deal an absolute masterstroke, was at 142 million odd, apparently they had a big forfeit that they could not come back and sign Liverpool players for 3 years, and that's how desperate they were. They got their pants pulled right down. And we haven't even talked about Joel Matip signing on a free, right? Joel Matip, Chalco, Mr. Legend with a funny accent and a gangly walk, bursting through the midfield. Gini Wijnaldum coming in, Sadio Mane coming in. The money we made on Jordan Ibe, the money we made on Brad Smith, convincing the world that Benteke still had it, and the Welsh Javi, Joe Allen, moving him on as well. My goodness, this guy, you could write an absolute masterclass on running the transfer policy at a football club under Michael Edwards. And we haven't even talked about the infrastructure, his influence on the club, the data-led approach, which is always led by data, which is factual, right? Sure, you can include intangibles, you can include the coaching methodology, the Klopp effect, all these kind of things. And obviously they're very important, but data is data. And if you can interpret the data and understand the data and find hidden trends within the data that other people can't identify, somewhat Moneyball approach, but data is data, and this is why you need geniuses in the data room who can interpret that and provide it in a way that a layman or normal man or normal coach can utilize it to get the most out of the players. You will also reunite with Chief Scout Barry Hunter and Head of Recruitment Dave Fallows, and this backroom backboard infrastructure is most important because it's what identified Jurgen Klopp as the outstanding candidate for Liverpool in the first place. It was Michael Edwards' recommendation. Man United went after Jurgen Klopp and tried to sell him on Disneyland of the UK or something like that. Some absolute BS. Seriously, don't join the Premier League, spend all day at Disneyland. What were they smoking over there? But with this appointment, this gives me the most confidence that we will end up with the right manager to continue the Liverpool way next season. And I really believe it's the sum of the parts. FSG are responsible for putting in that backroom infrastructure and that board to ensure Liverpool's glorious golden future, right? And having Edwards there running the whole regime, he knows what it takes to succeed in this modern environment. He will hire the sporting director, Richard Hughes, who will be in charge of concluding the deals and making sure that everything is ticking over in Liverpool, directly in Liverpool as well. We have the playing squad as well. The coach, the backroom staff, the training, the infrastructure, the increased revenue from the stands, merch, sponsorships, everyone as one. It will be a collective of the whole that we purposely put in place to succeed Jurgen Klopp's legacy, because you can't imitate the man, but you can replicate the tools and the function and the holistic business as usual to ensure that the club continues to outperform and excel in every single criteria, in every single aspect of a successful football club. And that starts with on the pitch. And on the pitch will be dictated by how well Michael Edwards can facilitate the new manager having everything he needs to succeed. And the biggest attribute that I can give to Michael Edwards in terms of a compliment is the fact that he's in it to win it for the long term. He sustained success with his vision and his data-led approach by putting his foot down and saying, I'm not a yes man. That player is not as good as this player that I'm putting in front of you. This is better value for money. It might be more expensive, it might be more cheap, but this is the right player for your system based on the stats, based on what you're trying to do, based on personality fit, based on the market-driven approach. This player, bar none, is going to get you to those heights. It's going to have a chance to win the Golden Boot every single season, get on well with his teammates, lead by example. This man is Mo Salah and not Julian Brandt. And if Julian Brandt isn't convinced he's going to be a starter for Liverpool, let's take him out of the equation and get the Egyptian king running down the wing. Roma will sell him a reasonable price to us. And having built that relationship with Roma, let's get Alisson as well. Obviously, Michael Edwards has great affinity for Liverpool, and it's in his best interest to reflect properly on his career and his ability in the absence of Jurgen Klopp to show that he can do it. He can replicate that success again and again, but it's all around the philosophy and the framework. The data-driven approach is there to provide Liverpool with the basis for success. This is why he's one of the most sought-after football directors in world football. Man United wanted him, Chelsea wanted him. He rejected all those roles, comes back as CEO of football for FSG. Not only that, he's going to help to buy another club within that structure. I'm going to do a separate video on that, the good, the bad, and the Luke Chadwick around it. But having secured Edwards, right, and him handing his resignation for Ludonautica, the firm he's currently consulting for, in June, this gives us ample time to get the right infrastructure in place for that manager in terms of approaching the right players right now. If we want to go for Xabi Alonso, sorting out the right players that Xabi Alonso would be able to work with. If we're going to Ruben Amorim, similar. If we're going to De Zerbi, similar. If we're going to Nagelsmann, similar. He will get the basis and the groundwork done for the right type of player that we need to bring in. Richard Hughes, having left Bournemouth, coming to Liverpool in the summer as well, will have his hands full in regards to converting those prior promises into actual transfers fulfilled, because that will give the new manager the tools to do his job. It's not around making the key decisions, it's around giving the manager the best possible chance to succeed with the players that will suit his play style, suit his philosophy, suit what tactically the manager is trying to do for next season, and filling in all those gaps in the Liverpool puzzle. Also identifying potentially the players who may want to leave, who may want a new challenge, who may need to be sold, who may not be utilised by a new manager, for example. All these things need to be in place. The training facility is there. The expansion of the stadium is done as well. The managerial appointment, the backroom staff, the coaching staff in and around him, physio department, any scientific department or sporting innovation that you might want to introduce to AXA training ground. All these type of things is now under the remit of Michael Edwards, and he has proven himself to know exactly what a football club of this modern day and age needs to compete, and whether it's the additional club being brought into the FSG family, which I will go into in depth in a different video. All we know is FSG have their top man for the backroom staff into a position now, and now we can start to build a framework for when Jurgen Klopp leaves, and hopefully Jurgen Klopp can enjoy the match from the stands or behind the TV and see his legacy fulfilled in terms of handing over the best possible Liverpool 2.0 to the next generation to sustain that success and build on hopefully his quadruple in his final glorious chapter this season. And this guy, Michael Edwards, man, just look at him. Look at him. He's like me. He's a total geek, total nerd. He leaves no corner untouched. He'll have contingency, backup plans, support plans, contract renewals. Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold. It could be Alisson Becker. It could be all the contract renewals coming up for expiration, but also the ones longer term in the future. He'll have the plan and the vision in mind for what the new manager will want to do, the type of player that he'll go for. He'll probably be in contact with some, intermediaries to say like, hold the phone, hold up there. We might want to get something done here. Mo Salah, metric king, let's get him renewed. Top of the pops. He always scores goals. He's now assisting. He's a starting right winger. He can do it in the biggest games. He's outstanding. The lure of Saudi Arabia is going down on a low, but if he wants to leave for a new challenge, why not give us 100 million? His wages off the bill. Cella, Pedro Neto, Mitoma. I got you guys. I got you handled. They're coming in. Salah, you decide. One way or another. Either way, Liverpool win or Liverpool win or Liverpool win. Michael Edwards is that type of guy because he even visited the Salzburg training facilities to make sure that Liverpool had a state-of-the-art training facility, because Salzburg were also top-notch and well-renowned in terms of churning out the talent. Haaland, Minamino, loads and loads of good players came out of Salzburg as well in that Red Bull setup. I don't think that Liverpool will get a feeder club like Salzburg. I'll explain in another video once again. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you like this video and comment below if you want to see that video, because there's just many factors at play. However, Michael Edwards is absolutely a fanatic about paying attention to detail. He empowered the research facility to do research to the nth degree to make sure that everything was planned in place, and no matter what happens, Liverpool were absolutely in prime condition, prime form on and off the pitch to approach every season to try to win it all. In it to win it. It's a philosophy, I believe. We know what he's about. The world knows what he's about, and now it's about seeing the results. He knows it's his chance to prove how important he was for all the sustained success for Liverpool over the previous years, and not all down to Klopp. Obviously, give Klopp his due, give Klopp his respect. Klopp has led by example. He's represented the people and represented the club, and at the end of the day, it's his influence on the players, his tactical acumen, and his instructions on the pitch alongside Pep Linders and the rest of the team. They churn the results, but Michael Edwards gave him the tools to accomplish that in the first place. So they go hand in hand. Edwards is probably the second most responsible person for that success, having given tools to Klopp to do it, but Klopp is obviously number one, right? So, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Once again, smash the like, really helps the video get seen. Comment below as well. I'm really excited by this appointment. Now I'm convinced, no matter what manager comes in, he'll be the best manager for Liverpool. I always knew that anyway. FSG, they are smart people. I know some people hate them or whatever, but they are clever. They're business people. They want Liverpool to succeed because it sells shirts. Apart from that, I got loads and loads of shirts and other goodies I want to show you. There's something called Fukubukuro, which is like Happy New Year, lucky bags. I still need to find my original clips when I open that, but when I do, I'm going to show you all the new Liverpool kit, and I'm going to wear it as well. I love my kit. It's nice and sunny in Miyazaki, Japan. Hope you guys are having great weather as well, my brethren in the UK and around the world. Until next time, Miyazaki man Ichiban. Janet.